Hi, I'm Lorie Coates, school psychologist in BCBA for Davis School District's BATE team.
And I'm Joceline Ruiz, co-coordinator and BCBA for the BATE team, and we're back with another episode of BATE Debate. BATE Debate will address simple research-based practices that will work with individual students or groups of students in school settings. The situations and questions will be adapted from what we are hearing and seeing in schools. These are common struggles with students of all abilities. Although they are simple strategies, they will be effective at decreasing challenging behavior and making your day just a little bit easier. We're excited to share these strategies to make them available to SPED teachers, gen ed teachers, and all other staff working in schools. And don't forget to check us out on social media. That's at behavior_in_progress on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. All right, Lorie, so last time we talked about fidgety friends in our classrooms.
Yes.
Do you have any stories you can share about this topic?
I do, just very recently. There was a student who was up and out of his seat, according to the teacher, constantly, but it was quite a bit. And we realized after kind of taking a look a little bit more at what was going on for this student that he couldn't do the work. It was too high for him. So as soon as we were able to modify the work, it was amazing to see how easily he was able to stay seated a lot better. So it wasn't about ADHD concerns as much as it was about his skills.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
The student that I have in mind is kind of the opposite of the student that you just described. This student was very bright academically and could sit in his seat, but just struggled staying still in his seat. So he would fidget around and just hang off the chair. So just helping the team find some strategies to help the student be more calm while they were sitting. So some things like using a sensory blanket over their legs or having one of those kick bands around the chair legs so the student could kick on that as well. And then when the student had those accommodations available, they were able to focus a little bit better on the teacher's instructions while the teacher was talking.
Oh, that's good. That's great to hear. What's our topic for today, Joss?
Today we're going to be talking about cultivating consistent compliance or generalizing compliance. So what do we mean when we say we are generalizing compliance?
Well, we mean that a student may have compliance to one teacher or in one setting or just in one with one teacher, typically is what we see. And they'll not follow directions when somebody else is involved. Sometimes they will demonstrate the skills with other people, and not the same person. Anyway, the back and forth. And this happens much more often than you would think. Why does this happen?
Usually it comes down to reinforcement. The student follows directions and is not disruptive in one setting or with one individual because there has been frequent reinforcement in these conditions. The student has learned to expect reinforcement for following directions from that person or in that setting and responds accordingly. That doesn't mean that other settings or other people are not reinforcing. It just means that reinforcement hasn't been provided frequently enough to establish the pattern for the student. Another factor that could be playing a part in the limited generalization is a positive relationship that has been set in the setting. Positive relationships account for a great deal of compliance. So how can we start generalizing compliance to other people or other settings?
Well, we need to start by assessing, where that compliance is happening and whether the reinforcement rate is as high as it is in the other settings as it is in that current setting. If there's a frequency disparity, like with one teacher they're very reinforcing and another teacher not as reinforcing, then that's pretty easy for us to change. We can really work hard at ensuring that that other teacher or that other setting has the reinforcement that they need. Occasionally you may need to increase that reinforcement, not even have it the same, but have it more in the other setting. and the student can learn that they can access reinforcement in all settings. If the issue is more relationship, then there's a few different things that we might do. We might have a situation where the student, again, is compliant with one teacher, not compliant with another teacher. And so we'll have the teacher that the student's compliant with present the work, but the less preferred staff will present the reinforcement so that you can have both of those things going on. As soon as that increases a little bit more, you can start fading that. You don't need to keep that as high as it was before. You can start fading that other staff. We can also work at building the relationship with the less preferred staff by having more play or interest-based activities together. Just having that time together will make all the difference in the world in creating that relationship. All right, Joceline, I wonder if you've ever had a time, or if you know of times, when it's just a personality clash between the student and a staff member.
This can definitely happen. In these situations, the adults are the ones that are going to have to make some adjustments. Even with personality clashes, if the adult can gain some ground on finding the joy and increased positivity, the relationship can be one of mutual respect. We need to remember that we are the only ones that we have control over. You never have control over the student, so don't try to win the battle. Instead, present the battle differently. With increased reinforcement, and the situation will be more manageable.
Definitely. Well, thank you for tuning into this episode of the BAIT Debate. We're so excited to share these behavioral strategies. Generalizing compliance from one setting to another can be tricky, but with some intentionality, it can be done and easily accomplished. We hope the information we presented today was informative and meaningful to you. We also have lots more topics coming up to keep you and your educator friends reeled in. Catch you next time.